All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Summertime Rendering, episode 12.
Let's talk to a guy.
Let's not get eaten by a waifu.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shinpei is, well, actually, no. I was going to say, I think Shinpei's safe. But then I was like, wait a minute. If he does loop, that means he dies. So he's probably going to get eaten, but it's going to be the less bad version of being eaten. You know?
This is the potentially the worst end than the festival for Shinpei, because we don't know what Haine or Hiruko can do if she can do this, you know?
Right.
That's the moment where now all bets are off. This conversation has meaning beyond the current iteration because Haine will know most likely, oh, Shinpei, you're the one that now has the eye. Cool. How did Ryunosuke get it?
How does that whole situation happen?
Because I'm sure Haine is possessed of much knowledge and godlike, ability, but also not. And that's the area where I want to see where Haine is a person, not a goddess.
Because given that Shinpei is being taken to her, yes, it might be to eat him and all that stuff. But if they're
he probably has so much data and the eye,
But assuming that they're not going to be able to reclaim the eye from him or whatever, he's still going to be able to loop after this.
Right.
Talking to him is not in their best interest unless
they can gain info.
Well, yeah, either gain info or if there's something else, some reason why they would actually want to communicate and maybe negotiate, which that could then get very fun.
I would love to see that they need the eye to be used, basically, and they need to convince Shinpei that, like...
The eye hopper to be like, hey, can you...
Yeah, but almost like not doing the villain thing of like, I'm doing the right thing.
Join
here.
us. But right. But implant bad data so that will make him do certain things that they've reverse, figured out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see Haine being a being that is frail and weak of most every area except like a couple. But the one that I kind of want to see them be actually like frail and weak in is the ability to use their power.
Oh, sure.
Like whatever Hiruko can do, I don't want to see Haine be able to exercise even like a strong modicum of that. I want that to be something.
Because otherwise we'd be screwed already.
Well, right, but it's the idea that we've seen Haine already use multiple abilities, scanning without any kind of flash or anything like that, just like telepathy, basically, like just did that to Hizuru and Ryunosuke. Just like that. Having the ability to change form and masquerade as Shiori.
Yeah.
Or something.
Whatever that whole situation was.
So, finding out what Haine cannot do is something that's really exciting because then she can be enticing Shinpei in some way with maybe some kind of deal or... maybe some kind of leverage that's why Mio's being brought down here. It's because in order to get you to do anything, it seems like Mio's the only way that works. And that could actually be interesting because it'd be Haine potentially bringing in info of in all the iterations where I've fought against you fucking loopers with my abilities, for some reason you value Mio so much.
Even though this is the time loop.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because that could tie back to Ushio saying, protect Mio.
Right. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the point where she demonstrates how well she's thought out this plan, and then Shinpei's like, you've had a lot of time to plan this, haven't you? And she's just like,
But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. The first human she ever copied. Cool. Oh.
All right.
So then Haine is stronger in a lot of ways than the presence of the god, Like the memory, if you will.
Sure, yeah, like the identity and stuff, but...
But that's hope.
Sure.
Oh,
yep, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, there was something always different about you.
Uh-huh. And that's a good mechanical reason then why she was able to hide in like the sledgehammer indent.
Yeah. Oh God, that animation!
Okay.
Whoa. Fuck. Okay. Well,
So
we
much
are not in
for-
control here.
Yeah.
We are not in control here. That was very terrifying. Oh
I
my
suppose
God.
that concludes negotiations.
I mean, that might also be like a, you know,
Properly setting
Just-
like who's in charge here.
you need to understand.
Yeah, don't talk smack to me, you little shit.
Yeah. I've been trying to get you for a long time. You know?
I get 2 people.
Yeah. This is the
Oh,
test
who's gonna
here.
be in there?
Is it her? So they lied. They
Holy
lied.
shit.
They
No.
say they cremate.
But that's really
That's
good
huge.
info.
That's huge.
ほんまに牛をなんかだって昨日火葬にした遺体が集めた骨は
遺体はお父さんがすり替えました
Holy
骨
shit.
がプリントした誰かの骨です
Yeah. Sure.
All right.
すべてはハイネのためです
ふざけんな
Always has
許
been.
されるわけないやろこんなこと親父はどこや何も知らんくせにギャーギャーうるさいんじゃボケお兄ちゃんがそんなんやから私がやってんのやるがよ
Oh, because you couldn't take on the family business?
Yeah.
こうするしかないんですよこうするしかハイネが死んだらお母さんも死んでまうんや
Oh. That's the shadow that was being kept at the clinic?
お母さんが生きてんのは病気が治ったからじゃないんや
Yeah.
お父さんがハイネに頼んで影になって
Shit. Yeah.
Damn.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And so if Heine was gone, the shadows would be gone too. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's another
Hey,
nice
th-
little mechanic. They kind of quietly just
And also,
introduced there.
牛尾さんの
good
こと
info.
本物の牛尾さんや思ってるでしょ
I mean, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, give a break between meals. You don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
We'd love to, negotiate here.
があいつに食べられて
Yeah, you're gonna have to offer something. You're gonna have to offer
そんなことあ
something.
ってたまるか
So that's the leverage they have, I
研究
guess.
の数秒間は身動きができなくなる牛を今やプリントしろ待ってたでその言葉
Oh yeah!
Oh, yeah!
牛を
Go scan the original. Yeah. Fuck!
Okay.
Let's go!
All right. She scanned her.
Yep.
妹の大事なシーンを食べ腐りやがってよ神様かヒルコ様か知らんけどな人間なめんな
Shadow saying that.
Yeah. Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
人に擬態する必要ないってか
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're down here.
潮の記憶はわしが食べ
Yeah, I bet you do.
半殺しまでや
You should
Well, we just want to attack on Titan here.
you should probably devour Ushio's body, Shadow Ushio.
牛を危険にさらす戦闘は避けなければ
Shit! Fuck! What is this? What is this action? Oh my
Yeah.
止め
god!
るべきなのに俺は牛を止められない
All right, so what are you gonna do? Bird's eye view.
俺も牛をと全く同じ気持ちだからだ人間なめんな
Fuck yeah!
All right.
There it is!
Oh shit. All right.
どうせ死ぬなら戦って死ぬ
Is that water though?
Yeah.
やめなさいハイネこ
Oh.
こまでです
Oh,
Oh.
got Mio.
It's got Mio.
Yep. Holy shit.
今新兵軍のこと食べようとしたでしょ
Oh. There was a Whoa. Whoa, wait.
なんで ミオには手出せへんって言うたやないか。
どういうことも何もどうせみんな明日までの
Yep.
日ですし
何を言ってんの。明日夏祭りの最後の食事でハイネの体を治す。お母様を生きられるようにするん
Yeah,
や。
but it's gonna be a big meal.
畑には大変お世話になりま
Yeah.
したでもそれももう終わり
We
です
won't need it anymore.
But this is a lot of info that they're giving to.
みんなおとなしするけ。
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. Bad end.
Okay.
Get out of there, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Your father already knows all of this. He doesn't care. Yeah, we saw him at the clinic when he was looking at everything going on. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
you gonna be a big hero?
Wait, how'd you get separated from?
Mio? Who
Mio
knows? Yeah.
人間や。
Okay.
ここまでや。
Oh, that eye, art, everything's gorgeous.
龍之介。
Oh.
牛尾ちゃんの葬儀におったエッチカップル。
シータボケ。
Nope.
Nope.
この洞窟の一番奥へ。
Take me deeper in. Fuck. Yeah.
これを
These are all variables that could kill, Shinpei as well.
こっちに来い。
そいつに手出すな。お前人を食いたいんやろ。だったら俺を食えよ。
かっこよく死のうなんて無駄なんやから。
Oh, fuck. Shit.
But
おまんは劣化とは逆じゃ。むしろ成長しておる。ただ消すんは失った。
I'll just reclaim you.
頭を直してつこちゃる。
Oh
明
shit.
日は人手がいるからの。こやつの力を消すのは
Cool. Right. 'Cause it's-
もうが先か。先か。
Whoa!
Oh shit.
Whoa!
その目は高次元の視点から時間の流れ
Yeah. We're already in a loop.
いつもの平行世界を観測す
Yes! Okay! Yes!
そして新兵君君は君の観測
Wait.
Holy shit!
力がある今この世界は君が
Rendering the world.
まさに恐るべき神の力です死という自意識の消失がなければ作動しない不可能
You're giving him a lot of info.
要するに最後まで君を殺さんか
Oh, we need to guide you to rendering the world we want?
なことですね
Holy shit.
君は明日が終わるまで
Just keep
ずっとここで叩いて
Just keep breathing.
ください
Because you don't know how
Oh
to do
my
anything.
god.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
god.
ループができなければ
Yep.
もう二度とやり
Look
直すことは
above.
できない。
Look beyond.
俺はまた約束を破る。
Yep.
俺には誰も守れない。
Fuck, man.
Holy shit.
ごめん。牛尾。
That's fucking
Yeah,
That's
and he's the perfect distraction while he's lines
Yep.
up a shot.
boom,
Yeah!
bitch!
南雲先生。
Do it. Do it.
Come on.
発だ。
Fuck.
Shit. All right, so now we need Ushio to do it then.
Fuck.
危ない危ないもう少しで新兵
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
南雲先生。
Thumb on the ground. Get your fucking like
Yeah.
kill yourself. Like you gotta do
You
it.
need to keep a razor blade in your pocket.
おかげで
Wait,
飲めました。
wait,
The
what?
point of this shit at the clinic. He had held on to it.
二人とも聞いてくれ。
Yeah. in case,
俺たちのうち誰かが死んだ
so you won't be able to kill me.
気のつかない怪我を負った
The stuff that So
俺
saw.
はすぐにループしてやり直すお前が自分で死ぬってこと
Hell yeah.
Wait.
やってその時はこれを使う
Yeah, the stuff that So saw at the clinic.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
ですか君死に慣れて
Oh
ます
You know how
no.
to die.
まさか新兵軍何回もここまで来てます
Yeah, how many times have you gone here? That was the thing. They didn't know that. So,
で余裕じゃくせやら
まさかこれほど
He's losing his guts right now.
俺は何遍でも何遍でもやり直せそんで最後にお前らを倒せ
fuck, this is a mid-season,
Yeah.
like, finale. Like, this is,
もう手のほど
yeah, can't do shit.
申し訳ありませんハイネ
見よこやつさっきから
Oh!
この新作を
Oh, let's go!
でかい
Okay.
Wait, Ushio, what are you?
こやつ
Wait.
逆にわしを
What?
まさか貴様が卵か
The egg.
Shinpei died and she went back with him.
連れて行きよった
Oh shit.
No way.
Holy
So
shit.
she is looping with him.
Yeah.
ごめん新平私のせいでみんながミオが
We'll try again.
奴らを倒すたとえ
The infinite present. Yep.
来てもな
All right.
Holy shit.
何回でもどこへでも行く新平と一緒に
Okay, so who? It has to be Ushio.
つまり君はタイムトラベラー
And
だ
that's the okay. That's a very good start
That's a
point.
very, very
That's
good.
that is a fantastic start point.
Yep. Holy shit! So they see this
Yeah.
はい
because it's his perceptions rendered
Yeah,
her
yeah,
specifically into the.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
Wait, that was just the fifth loop?
I mean, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah, it
about
hasn't
that.
been
Yeah,
that
but it
many,
hasn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit! What a confrontation! What a showdown!
All right.
So one of the things that Heine basically did when tried to take the eye was basically like, oh, I can't do that. There's already some other perception that's locking it in place because we have a full loop that's kind of resolved or resolving itself.
I'm not entirely sure I get it.
Okay, but basically that
The eye's a shadow of the eye, right? And that's how.
Yeah. But the idea is that we have already established a canon event in the future that resolves the fact that Shinpei has the eye in the past. That's the only way the eye can revert itself like that. Basically, Heine spoke in fourth dimensional jargon, but
Okay.
the thing that it seems to be, I would say, very strongly pointing at to me is that we're already within a time loop.
Well, right.
Well, right. But that's the thing is that Shinpei hasn't gotten to the future point when the time loop is initiated. Y'all,
Well,
that's a finale.
okay,
Like
that
that's
is-
a mid,
yeah, that is a
mid-series,
mid-season finale.
Mid-season finale. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I
I
am
was
hyped.
see
I am hyped.
with how it was being talked about by Tokiko.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, when you loop, yada yada yada. I was thinking, oh, okay, this is actually going to be fairly chill, right? Because it's like, what realistically will they actually be able to do here, right? If they know that they can't actually take his looping ability back.
Yeah, they seemed to be suspect of that. And then Heine seemed to basically just be like, well, I'm going to try it anyway. No need to die in style.
And I guess you can treat it as if he will be able to loop back, because if he doesn't, then great, you win. But
Right, but
Yeah.
even if you can loop back, they don't care.
Right.
Because they're here for Ushio's body.
and we do have a very concrete set of situations in which bad guys can win. Eating Ushio, because the original Ushio, because then that can be something where, whatever crazy memories
Ushio
or something,
did.
whatever she did, they have knowledge of that and stuff. And since Heine is able to remember things acausally or atemporally, then that's a big advantage. But then also, if they can get Shinpei to just stay alive so that way they go through the festival and he doesn't die, then they win.
Right.
Awesome.
So they basically lure him here with the bait that, oh, you could get tons of info. You could get all this stuff here. We also saw in a very, very important kind of power dynamic here, the father forearm, multiple body shadow boss kind of thing there, being kind of the babysitter of Heine, which implies a very interesting hierarchical thing here.
Right.
Heine is the old, frail one that needs protecting, which is understandable, and that he would be the guard dog. Right. But there was also a bit of chastising that he did.
It's the you have bad judgment.
Yeah.
And
that's showing that Heine is more Heine than Hiruko.
Right.
And the shadow is more concerned about Hiruko than Heine.
I gotta say, I do like that was a thing that happened.
Yes.
Because the trope of like the bratty, little girl, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. So if it's going
it needs to be tempered with something else really strong.
Yeah, and so in this case, if you're going to do that for the Eldritch God,
right,
which already feels like, come on, couldn't
you're underselling your god.
You're underselling your god a lot.
Yeah.
Then at the very least, make sure that is a plot point and that it's something that is acknowledged by the other characters in the show, because that's a bit weird, right? Like, yes, she has a little kid's voice. Of course, she's using a little kid's body. But with regards to decision making, that's strange. Okay. And the idea that this one, needs to basically be the babysitter.
In check.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I liked about this
you
was,
can't eat him.
Yeah, what I liked about this was Heine wasn't about to eat Shinpei. That's what he was worried that she was going to do. But she like almost like split space time and just did the whole thing where the moves too quick and then the whole screen just kind of goes
right.
And that was fucking awesome. It's that's what Heine would do if her life was threatened, basically. But it's also the kind of thing of where it's using your abilities in such a specific way to be like, okay, you can't use the nail gun thing. Your fingers are gone. So also now you can't really do much with your body to try and kill yourself also. So that's that was, I think, a very intelligent thing of Heine. But it was fun that the shadow panicked and thought that even if she was trying to eat Shinpei there, she didn't. And the shadow still thought, don't do that, which means...
And there were a couple times where she went into the, instinctual, I'm going to feed mode.
Right, and because she's so desperate right now, she is dying. And this is a timely thing for her.
Yes. And I also really liked... So there was the fact that they actually tried to take her out here, even though it didn't work. Yeah. I appreciate that, because that takes the Eldritch God and communicates and showcases that they are able to actually be defeated.
Yes.
But then, too, by confirming that Shiori was her this whole time. Right?
Yes.
That's a very big deal, because that means that the times that Shiori was actually in danger, needed to retreat, all of that stuff, it was actually Heine.
Yeah.
And so the thing that we talked about several episodes back, where it's like, okay, well, once you get into Eldritch God territory, the characters can't fight that unless they do like the shrine thing or whatever. Well, okay, no, I guess they can. I guess they can. Awesome.
And so now that Heine and Shinpei have interacted with far more directly than they did with the whole Ushio kind of projected memory thing, we will now be able to see how Heine reacts to interacting with Shinpei in the past in the next loops, basically.
Right.
And those are the things I'm really excited about, because we did see the next starting point, which is
so you're a time traveler.
You're a time traveler.
Yep. And I
that's a very good
start point.
That's a very good start point.
Because you've got...
We skipped a lot of stuff.
We skipped a lot of stuff, but we got all the important stuff done and canonized of the, meeting Hizuru and Nezu and getting them up to speed, getting them to be allies, but then also having it be a point where you're with them so that way you can be like, okay, here's the situation.
And I just
here's
got
the
new
update.
info.
Yeah, I just got new info. Now
This can get
Autobots,
logged
let's roll
into
out.
the new canon timeline.
Yes,
here,
right.
So I can render that in.
And so-
also Ushio is absolutely confirmed to be looping back with him.
And the fact that she appeared there with him is in front of them is the ultimate way to showcase to them she is on our side. Here's the situation. She can be reprogrammed. It's something that Heine tried to do. She wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
So
yada,
many
yada, yada.
things.
Right. Like, she was able to actually retaliate against Heine and try to erode her directly, which is a whole other crazy kind
That's
of
a
thing.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
But also, all this on top of that is that she's actually leaving. She actually left the localized space of where she's in. She's not just looping. She's not resetting. She is being transported through the dimensional rift that he creates through the eye's ability and does not have control of anything like this, is absolutely not, using that in any way there.
But
because of probably the point that Ushio had the ability at some point in the past, but used the loop in some ways to give things to Shinpei at the exact time that she wanted as some kind of fourth dimensional whatever, because we rewatched that first scene so many times to try and get as many clues as we want from the new context that we get from the current episodes. The main thing that we've kind of come to kind of be a little bit like less held on to is the idea that we know whether that was the original or the Shadow Ushio,
because the whole world seemed to be flickering.
Right. It was not that Ushio specifically
and that's
was
probably
flickering.
because the eye itself is a shadow. But with regards to her being brought back, there is the possibility that it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with the fact that she once was a looper, because it did still seem to be Shinpei needing to like hold on to her and stuff. But it could be a thing where because she was a shadow, right, then that's something that's basically non-tangible that then is able to be basically like carried with him, Right. Because the fact that it wasn't just Ushio getting updated memories wherever she was, but she actually went with him.
Yes.
You as far as we could tell, you wouldn't be able to actually bring back physical matter with you, right? That's not something that you can do. If Shinpei ever does figure that out, then he's set, right? But the fact that he was able to actually physically bring a non-physical entity with him, that's telling. That's also terrifying potentially, because theoretically Heine could try and jump onto you when you're like traveling.
Yes.
So the fact that it does have to do with his will to some extent, even if it's subconscious, is probably going to be very helpful. But
I still think Ushio has some will involved in it.
Because he didn't mean to do it the first time.
He definitely did not mean to do it the first time. But also, here's the other thing: Ushio now is almost essentially fully restored, and this is where things are going to get wild.
Right, since this is actually Ushio being sent back, and she scanned the dead body of Ushio.
And even though, and this is where things get really funky here, they made a whole point about how the copy is limited in what it can do if the original still exists out there.
Right.
But once you scan and absorb the copy,
or the
original,
then
thank
you become
you become the original.
Real thing.
So it's what is Ushio not able to do? Because her original is still out there, versus the idea of the memories that she got by scanning the original here, which restored her arm, which probably also brings her to connect beyond the point of when she
it's duplicatable rather than a fluke accident for her to like go back, or the fact that she was able to actually retaliate against Heine, because since we know that Shiori was Heine the entire time, the fact that she was able to try and erode Ushio, which I gotta say is also something I appreciate, because there were some discrepancies with regards to the abilities that shadows would use when they were fighting each other.
Right.
And so the idea that like, she would erode her. Ushio would use her hair like a whip thing, but Ushio's special, so okay, that's probably something other shadows aren't necessarily able to do. That's something that makes that very satisfying.
Yeah.
But that's like she used a thing that we've only seen Heine do.
Yes.
And she used it on Heine.
Right.
And she specifically did it after she like resynced with Ushio.
Right.
So
So it's the what did Ushio learn how to do over the course of looping that got her to the point where now she's set up her shadow to be basically the hero potentially all over again. Because this is where things get wild. I have been painstakingly like mostly steadfast to this theory that we are in a time loop.
Well, right.
Ushio, yes, absolutely. But,
No.
But it's an Ushio time loop. It's not a. Shinpei is doing things within a larger time loop. If that makes sense. Ushio set things up so that Shinpei would have the eye. But in order to do that beyond the point when she died, you would have to assume that, well, okay, the shadow did it, right? So, if you go with the route that the shadow did it, right, that means that the shadow at some point, post the death of Ushio, got the eye. Well, as we know, it wasn't in that backstory thing. There was never any transfer there. So, at some point, we have the eye being an aspect of the copy, meaning that the eye is a shadow, right?
Right.
We now see evidence in this episode that the eye might be a shadow. See where I'm going with this here?
Well, no, the eye's definitely a shadow. That's been that was showcased here, but it was also confirmed in the previous episode.
Right, but in a previous timeline then, Shadow Ushio had the eye.
I don't think so. I think it's that Ryunosuke had the eye, and then Ryunosuke, because the Ryunosuke that's with Hizuru is a Shadow Ryunosuke, that Ryunosuke had the plan ahead of time, basically, to be like, no, we don't actually ever want to bring the real eye back to the island, so we'll just make a copy of the eye.
Okay, so you're saying regular Ushio still always had a shadow version of the eye.
I think so.
Okay, but even then, still doesn't change the fact that we have the eye being given in the future beyond the death of Ushio to Shinpei, right? Right, which means that at that point, when Ushio gave it, she has probably the abilities of a looper.
Right, and potentially a non-linear looper.
Right, and yes, exactly. And at the very least, memories of the future. She knows why she has to give this to Shinpei, right?
Well, wait, but memories of the future isn't anything weird for a looper because
No. But it's the idea that there's a reason why she gave it to Shinpei and didn't just keep trying herself.
Well, and to be fair, I think some of that was kind of established here, in that if Shadow Ushio, right, is going to be able to do some awesome stuff, right? You don't
like this.
You don't want a single point of failure.
Well, but
right?
But why? Why though?
Why don't you want a single point of failure?
No. Why do you see? Why would Ushio, as strong as she is here, be seeing it as I can't do this without Shinpei? It actually doesn't make sense in the story right now why she needs Shinpei to do this.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing that looping back to the whole bit with with Shiori being killed. That's the part that still doesn't entirely make sense because
I think it does. Okay. But go keep going.
If you're a looper, right, and given how with Shiori dying and them that was a mission failed, we'll get him next time, except it didn't work. There is no next time, right? That's just how it goes. But that's from a looper. And so the only time you would have a looper give up the eye, right, is if it's we got to the perfect timeline, but there is a limit to what we can actually do. And so you got to be the rocket propulsion system where you jettison yourself to launch the next one, right? And so that's what Shinpei is. And so the fact that Shiori's whole situation went that way is actually what they wanted to happen, which I think it's weird.
Well, no, it's not weird if you consider the fact that regular Ushio probably did the same thing for Shadow Ushio. Shiori is Heine. That was almost like a final battle if you consider it that Ushio was a looper at the time.
All right.
And intentionally let that become canon.
Gotcha. So Ushio was doing all her looping stuff, recruited her shadow at some point along the way.
Right.
Then made her, and probably once she recruited her shadow, kept pulling her shadow back with her
Yep.
to keep that being the right thing.
Right.
For the last iteration, then gives the eye to the Shadow Ushio so that Shadow Ushio could give it to Shinpei, and that's how it was transferred, not going into some out of the time loop, whatever.
Well,
that while she was destroyed, right?
Right. That's probably still going to happen at some point, but it's not that it's going to be done through total fourth dimensional means. It's more that the fourth dimensional means were the reason why she was able to see that she needed Shinpei.
Sure.
Because she needed to be able to observe multiple, they literally said, observe multiple parallel worlds and dimensions and stuff to be able to like just view that and then render the one that you want. The ultimate use of the eye
that's
is
very different from a time loop.
It's very different from a time loop, but it's the idea that you can kind of go, okay, I fail in all the iterations. So in order for me to do this, I'm going to see what happens if I pass it on. And I look at all the available options and stuff like that. And in order for her to do that, I believe we're setting this up in a very, very clear way here. There's going to be some point at the future in which Ushio is going to have essentially the powers of Heine. She's going to be able to have the powers of a goddess, basically.
Right. And I think
and she has memories of that from her original self and has set
from when
things
she copied
up
the
to
body.
where, it's a cascading effect towards a
gotta say,
good end.
I think this makes it very timely. That the reset happens exactly here because if you think like on meta levels and in universe,
go in,
So we just finished the mid-season finale.
We did,
right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense for a lot of things to be different from
new
here on
stakes,
out, right?
Yep.
New stakes.
Yep.
Now we got a lot of new information. We know exactly who the bad guys are. Things like that,
all
right? So we
that.
got to process that. Come up with a new plan, things like that. And so then getting yoinked back to Hizuru and Nezu is perfect. But if Ushio also got a bunch of new information from when she copied the body, and that means she has new stuff that she could share with the group that could theoretically blow things even wider.
Even wider, yeah.
And then from there, that introduces even more layers to the new plan, but then also new stakes because it's the, oh shit, we do have crazy information. This could be the kind of stuff that's the reason why maybe the original Ushio wanted the timeline to go this way, so that way Shadow Ushio would not have memories of the big stuff, so that in the bad timelines,
we have no worry about Heine taking
Heine doesn't figure everything out, right?
Yeah.
And then now, okay, she has it, and now we need to it gives us new plans, new things that we can do, but then also ups the stakes even more because it's now we can't have a bad timeline in this particular way, right?
Right. But in a lot of ways they don't really have to.
Okay.
The thing that they've almost got now is they've got a full leg up on Heine.
Yes. And really Heine and the baddies, they fucked up.
Right.
They fucked up.
Right.
Not
only did they fuck up big time here, they also revealed in a lot of ways that Heine, like we were always wanting, is not necessarily the final boss. It's Hiruko. Heine is just a kid that was copied first long time ago. So
and that could be why the Shadow is more of the babysitter because you're the first one, so you're more powerful or whatever, but
you're a vessel.
Well, but you're a bad vessel because there's way too much Heine in there.
But that's the thing is that if you're a bad vessel, you're still the only vessel.
Right. But then that brings up something that I wanted to mention here. Yeah, well, yeah. And
I've literally been waiting to bring it up here. Yep, I froze on the screen.
It can't be. Are you the egg? Now, I don't think this is talking in any kind of traditional sense or breakfast food sense.
Nope.
This makes me think like Berserk, egg of the king, Behelit, like bullshit, right? So is this something where maybe
you're waiting for a new host?
Hiruko's like, yeah, Heine's a fucking awful host.
Just doing what we can.
We're just doing what we can. We're working with what we got.
But we need a Shadow that's a little bit more,
a little bit built different,
all evolved,
all
and
that.
Special, and stuff.
Exactly.
So in a lot of ways, that might be why Shadow Ushio was saved by regular Ushio because it's you're the key.
Right. She's literally the magical girl. Yeah. And also hence then why you have even though Shadow Ushio wasn't able to fully get away, you have real Ushio be the one to stay behind and die, right? So that Shadow Ushio can pseudo escape, right? Because otherwise it would have just been Shadow Ushio would have been gone, and Ushio either would have died or maybe have just barely survived because of being saved from like the people that saw whatever. But yeah, so this is interesting.
This is interesting. It's huge. It's something where in a lot of ways the show got way less complicated because we actually got real answers to a whole lot of things here and that don't lead to more questions necessarily. They actually like tie into other things that we had questions about and provide potential answers. Like they're not like definitive answers. Like there's a lot of things that Ushio could clear up in the next episode or two just from her potential new memories. But also we could end up getting, by just interacting with Shiori and just being like, hey, we know who you are, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly. Now,
like that might be a bit dangerous, but
now, because if this is at the time loop, you're a time looper.
Yeah,
that's before they go and hunt Shiori.
Right.
And so if
now
to be fair, given that Shiori's Heine, and that whole interaction happens, and she knows that he time
we don't know
loops,
what Heine will know from this.
She will do things differently.
She probably will.
They probably won't be able to use the same method of attack to trap her.
Yeah, Heine will probably go into hiding, I would say.
Yeah, she'll probably go into hiding. And that is a fun way to make it so that the good guys have actually won a bit.
Got some tempo.
But then also it's scary because you don't have like truly home field advantage.
No, you'd have to send an expeditionary force into their dungeon with a guardian that we can't beat. We can't beat that thing. Like that shadow so far has no conventional ways of being beaten outside of Ushio maybe doing some eroding stuff to maybe like CC it or something.
I think if they truly get it by surprise, they could, because they could like shotgun blast the shadow itself. The times that we've run into it up until now,
it always jumps us.
It always jumps the party, or that has a hostage, right?
Right, right.
And so then it's the, oh no, we need to free the hostage, but by that point you've lost the element of surprise.
Yeah.
But they also have a bunch of other information that I think is really fun here, of things like, oh hey, friggin' sister, what's the sister's name?
Izuru?
Tokiko.
Oh, Tokiko. Yeah.
The fact that she basically was betrayed.
Yeah, we can go investigate the Hishigata side of things now. That could be a good angle to give us some prep time before we do a fight. So that way, if anything gets badly, it's not canonized immediately by the respawn point.
And you could absolutely use Mio as a way to like set it up, so that way they like it's not going to be some trap or whatever. But it's like, hey, by the way, I'm a time looper. We know that you're working with them. Wait, what? No, just settle down. Yep. We got some tea for you, right? So they kill Mio. They're doing all this shit. It's not what you think. Your dad knows about all this stuff. Yada 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 yada. We need your help, right?
And you don't believe us? Here's what we can say to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that Heine's at this place underground. We know that you're going to be taking all these bodies to her.
It's going to be that awkward, like, half Nelson where So just comes in and is like, sorry, sister.
Yeah.
Half Nelson's there and just like, you need to listen to us. And she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and So could also be like, sorry I made you bear this.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
like, going to be some awesome character stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fantastic.
Also, we have a real human motivation that ties in really nicely to why Tokiko and her father are like, oh no, we'll absolutely let this island burn. But no, fuck yeah, I would do anything for the love of my life. Yeah, he's doing this for his wife, who
he'll get to be with her, just the two of them, as everything else is gone.
Yeah, it's do
no harm.
No, he's still a piece of shit.
But
it's the idea that we can address him emotionally and maybe actually reach him. And he'll have also even more info because he has the family line who has been doing this stuff for a long time. So they would have records and also archives of all this shit.
If Ushio is going to be like the replacement vessel, right? And here's another. Here's a way that we could get a truly happy ending. Because happy ending that we've been looking at up until now is humans defeat the shadows, and then maybe Ushio's kept around as like an exception, right?
I think in a weird way, Ushio would need to be an exception, not just in that we know now that Heine is what's propagating the shadows just by being Hiruko, but
Right.
but also the idea that Shadow Ushio has probably got some faulty aspects of her where it's the
Well,
keep going.
So
yeah.
here's what I'm thinking. Heine might be Nakama. That is a possibility.
Oh, I think at this point it's definite.
Yeah, given how much of her still exists, I think that
She's a liability to the shadows.
she is absolutely a liability to the
Yeah.
shadows. So it makes sense that they would try and get Ushio.
So we need to rescue her, basically.
Right. The other
exorcism.
possibility of what could happen is that we could have Ushio become the vessel for Hiruko,
Yes. Right.
but have it be under control.
Well, that's
Right,
the thing, is that's the scary thing. We don't know. Okay, so here's
like-
the issue. Here's the issue. Hiruko is manifesting through Heine, but Heine is a shadow. So that means that Hiruko is not actually here. Hiruko has an actual body as well,
Yep.
an original, somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And
I like it.
that's the final boss. That's
Sure.
what we need to beat, basically. And
All
so
right.
if we can separate Heine from the shadow side of things in the same way that Ushio is an exception and has basically shown that there is a way to be desynchronized
Yep.
from things here. Whatever that is, it's probably something that she did over the course of pulling the escort mission of Shadow Ushio through all these
Sure.
loops here.
Yeah, they could theoretically pull Heine with them once they
Exactly.
Nakama her,
Right,
yeah.
right. And thus then we have a whole troop, a happy ending party where it's we don't need you, basically confronting the god JRPG style.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
just
yeah.
feels very JRPG in a lot of ways. And it's you may have had some fucked up thing in your head about how this is actually going to be, like you're actually doing this for our benefit or you think anything like this.
Right.
But look, don't underestimate us humans. Look what
Yep.
we've been able to do.
Yep.
We're just fine. It's then you relinquish the power
Okay.
and basically are like, this is now canon, you can't
Oh,
fuck with it
the
anymore.
time looping stuff, not the shadow stuff.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And that way shadows can remain.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's
right because the ultimate victory is not eradication; it's integration.
It's the integration. It's
Yeah.
the copies becoming the originals.
Yep.
It's we now take all the originals,
Right.
they then become them.
with Ushio being the paragon magical girl
Right,
of
who's-
that happening.
Right, and
Yeah.
because the show brought she's not been cremated thing into the play here, that is absolutely
That's-
on the table, and that is the ultimate happy end goal.
Also, I gotta say, I'm surprised that it took them this long to get her body to Heine. Although,
well, no, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's only been like a 2-day. It's only been like a 2-day process.
right, but right,
Because they had to do the body swap.
Yeah,
they
but
had the funeral.
No, right, but at
That
this
took a
point,
day.
I would almost, given that they have people on the inside, and given that Heine is going to remember what happened here, I would almost say
We need to
that
protect the original body.
we need to
now?
protect. Yeah, that's gonna be mission number one.
Oh,
because,
sure.
Because Heine will say, "Fuck secrecy, get me the body,
now."
right? And then just, okay, cool. I devoured the body once. I have the memories. Cool. We can let it reset, whatever, and let the body do whatever it normally does. We don't even need to eat it at that point.
Right. There's definitely the whole issue where shadows can't
wait.
just reveal what they are and who they are.
Hang on
so
a
they
sec.
can't go too directly to it.
Hang on a sec.
What?
No, that's totally wrong.
Why? What's up?
It doesn't matter if Heine eats Ushio's body
Oh.
because she already has.
Oh.
Because there's the timeline where it went all the way to the festival. They
Right.
absolutely
So
fed
Heine
Ushio to
Heine has not got pure fourth dimensional observation.
Yeah, no. She doesn't actually know what they're up to and all that stuff.
Right. It's just the thing is that Shiori was Heine
Right.
all along, so that when they came really close to Shiori in the instance there, the part that was Heine interacted with the power, and
Yeah.
that's what happened there. Because they didn't see Heine, only he did in the hand gripping bit.
Yes.
Which means that it's based on the
Right.
eye's perception
Yeah.
of things.
Ushio accidentally made a copy of Heine, who
Right.
then has fourth dimensional awareness.
Right, but not
And
but
hence
not
why that
perfect.
happened.
But not perfect fourth dimensional awareness, because the plot would break if she has in the future interacted with things that inform her present abilities. Like, she is not going through the wormhole, taking the events and activities of those things, because then, she would never need to. She would also never need to eat it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good point. Right. Because if she's...
it all cycles back and closes itself in a loop. Yeah.
And that's the thing where her being Shiori adds some fun things to the story.
Yes.
It also adds a lot of problematic elements that can be dealt with, but they need to be dealt with in very particular ways.
I think...
because if she has memory of fourth dimensional stuff, but she also is leaving the cave...
No, but that's why. That's why you have to separate these two things here. She is herself a shadow that has lost a lot of the ability of her body, but her shadow is still a shadow.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's
but the problem is that, like, so the idea of like, okay, maybe it's that only after once the festival happened and she was like fed all the stuff that she was able to like be at the point where the memories of that event went into fourth dimensional memory.
No. I think you're overthinking the abilities of Heine. Heine is weak. Heine is frail.
No. I know from a power standpoint, but from an information standpoint.
Yeah. I don't think she has that much information. I don't think she has that much information. At this point, I don't think she does. I think if anything, it's just that she's aware that Shinpei has the eye.
So then, no, right. But in order for her to be aware that Shinpei has the eye, because our first interaction with Heine was at the festival, right?
Uh-huh.
Next interaction with Heine was in a different timeline when Ushio accidentally made a copy of Heine because she didn't realize that Shiori was Heine, and then Heine recognized Shinpei as the found ya, and then puts the print on his arm and all that stuff. I don't think they're saying that was just something that Heine would do with Shiori knowledge, right?
No,
but she remembered that he was a looper because she found that out right before he looped, right?
Sure. Or it's just she can see her fucking eye on him as the copy of Shiori in that little projection thing. And so she marked him in that point to basically be like, you're a looper. If I ever see that mark on somebody, or if I ever see the eye there,
sure.
You're marked. I know.
Okay, no, yeah, that's much better.
Because we have no mechanical things attached to the mark, so it could be anything at this point.
Yeah, it could be literally just a visual indicator. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that because otherwise you'd have all the times that they interacted with Shiori and she would have learned or whatever.
Well, also it closes off the opportunity for Heine to progress and get stronger as the story gets closer and closer to the end.
That's true. So that actually makes this a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Way easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know where she is. They know, and she doesn't know that they know, so...
Right, so they just have to do the dancing around thing of the... not revealing anything too quickly.
At that point, when they go through the thing and they sledgehammer her, it's just, we're going to sledgehammer her, she'll still be there, so we will have to do some serious double tapping, right? And then they just, all right, cool. And then Heine's like, wait, what the fuck? She's in the hole. And then they start, just filling it with shit, you know?
I would love to see that try to happen, but I also think it's very limited to assume that that's exactly what she did, because one of the things that is still something that the story will have to bring up is the fact that her shadow, if she has a shadow or if she's just moving about underneath a new form,
right, or have some split off tendril or something.
Why is her body in the cave?
Right, even though that's a shadow body, but it's a shadow body that's hooked up to actual blood transfusions.
Right. So in a lot of ways, right, it's the thing where we don't really know what ways she's limited mobility wise. And so there could be a possibility that she's sending off remote children, essentially, because that's what Hiroko kind of thing is, being the mother of these shadows. And Shiori is just a child that's being puppeted by
I assume direct control thing rather than a...
Right, this is my actual full body and I could die here.
Although if that's the case, then you wouldn't have the situation of Ushio accidentally copying Heine via Shiori, right?
Unless it still carries enough of the aspects of Heine.
Sure, because Heine was piloting Shiori at that moment, so because she... Okay.
Right. We don't know what being Hiroko gives Heine fully with regards to shadow
Right.
abilities.
Yeah.
We know about the time thing because of the eye being a very limited, specific thing. But there's a lot that's kind of under the fantasy,
Right.
just umbrella
So,
of being a goddess. You know?
We've already talked about this episode a lot.
A lot,
But
yeah.
there's something that we haven't quite
That's
talked
true.
about yet.
Yep.
Because this is actually, we were like trying to make sure that we had pieced everything together from this episode
Mm-hmm.
before the discussion. So the whole chicken or the egg, the
Yes.
eye being a shadow, reverting, all of that stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's got some fun implications.
Oh, huge.
So
Huge.
So you have a particular theory
My,
about it.
my theory has been that Ushio set up this because she had the looping ability and decided to die.
Uh-huh.
That means that
Right.
this is going exactly the way that the original Ushio wanted.
Right. If
Even though there's going to be probably some slight permutations and changes,
Mm-hmm.
she saw the future at some point by running through looping iterations.
Yep.
She chose to bank on her shadow. Awesome. By doing that, she essentially sacrificed herself to pass on the rocket style, baton, we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier, to Shadow Ushio. Shadow Ushio has now essentially come as close as ever to being the real Ushio
Uh-huh.
because of the seeing
Yeah.
the body.
The
again,
only thing she
original.
didn't do was eradicate the body, which
She literally almost won the battle solo style with how
Yeah.
powerful she was.
Right.
Which means that Ushio back then had the same abilities and
Yeah.
died. Did not one-shot Heine.
Right. Uh-huh.
Which means that she wanted that to happen. So the
Yeah.
giving of the eye.
Oh
is
yeah,
because-
yeah, that very much changes the whole underwater fight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
a ton.
A ton. Yeah, exactly. And that's because it's not that Ushio could do that.
It's the shadow issue.
It's that Shadow Ushio could be able to do that eventually. If we run through things enough ways, we need to get her shadow and Shinpei, someone that's not Shadow Ushio for whatever reason. So in this case,
And-
Shadow Ushio cares a lot about Shinpei. They're going to be the most ultimate dynamic duo. Get them set up to where they can then take things to the point where Shadow Ushio becomes the full Apex magical girl, does all the stuff, then sets the loop in place to basically have full time ability, all that stuff, send things back to things back to Shinpei.
One thing that I want to throw out, there's the possibility that what she did here is not something that she would have been able to do all the time, because this was their most desperate. They saw Mio's head get crushed. Everybody else was dead.
Right.
There's the possibility that it was like a, last desperate surge of, that like,
Right. There's probably also some insane risk attached to this as well.
sure.
Because Shadow Ushio, at the point of the death, didn't do this.
Right. And that
That's
could be
probably
because
under
that was
the orders of regular Ushio,
Right.
and or what they've experienced together.
right. But with regards to the eye itself looping back into Shinpei's head, I love that from the standpoint of it's something that would have been prepped because they don't want to risk kind of getting the eye back. Cool. But as far as the mechanics of exactly how it works,
It's because it's something that's still in the past. The eye is currently in a past state. There are things in the future that are determined, that are already set in stone. The eye can't shift its thing there because it needs to do things that haven't happened yet.
okay, so
It's a
there's,
paracausal thing.
there's aspects of that
There's
that I like.
potential paradoxes involved here, but we already have kind of wiped the paradox problem away by saying that the eye is not just a looping ability. It gives you control of time. It allows you to see parallel dimensions and just render out the reality as you want. Like the actual god powers.
So
like-
so a few incomplete thoughts that I want to
go for it.
explore with this. So because time has been able to be changed, the idea of something getting locked into place and then dictating past events because in the future it has to go this particular way, I don't think that works.
well,
Like if we already have situations of looping back and then using that to change the way the future goes.
I honestly I totally get what you mean by that, but the eye doing what it did in this episode doesn't work either, unless you assume some things that we would say don't work still work, you know?
This is the thought that I had with regards to how that
Let's process
how it would work.
Yeah, bring it out.
Is that because the eye is the thing that actually has the time powers, and then Shinpei is essentially using the eye, right? When the eye is removed, she's essentially killing the shadow eye, which then causes it to loop back.
But
why would the eye loop back?
No,
as
why
opposed
would
to
it
time
loop back,
looping back
there, and why not? Okay. No, that doesn't.
That's a good point.
That's a thing that I get. I get the idea that the time loop is within the eye, and thus the eye is greater than Shinpei's will, and and thus it just goes, no,
revert,
revert. That totally could be it, but that's just then in this. That's just then in this instance, and also why what was I gonna say?
Because if
like at some point, why would Ushio then be able to pass it on? Like that implies such a level of prowess and competence and ability to use it.
If Ushio gets to the point where she can do things like do conscious manipulation rather than the explanation that they gave here that I thought was really good is the only time you can use the eye is when you're empty, right?
Well, that's the only time that he can use the eye because he's not skilled enough.
No, right, because he's not skilled with it.
Right.
So in that kind of a situation, makes sense that kind of stuff wouldn't really happen.
Right.
But if you have a situation where you're able to consciously use the eye,
like Ushio did,
then I could see that not being as much of an issue. Right? Because then it's you're actively using it because right now all the times
how did Ushio pass it on? That's the thing where things get. That's what things. She was dead.
Well, there's the method in which she passed it along was complicated, right? We don't exactly know what the details of it are, but if Shinpei has been using it unconsciously this entire time. Because when he dies, whatever, all that stuff happens, then the idea that the eye also could because of unconsciously, not tied to Shinpei, basically, loop back into its owner's head or whatever, right?
Okay.
Now, maybe that would be something that would be set up because of Ushio in some outside of time thing.
It kind of has to be in a lot of ways because Ushio, when passing the eye, was actually physically there doing this. She was actually giving something, even if it was through some fourth dimensional stuff or whatever.
Right, or and it's just
she disappeared.
Shadow, so it's just
there was a point before he had the eye where Ushio was there, so he's not seeing things from a bird's eye view with any kind of special ability,
unless she somehow figured out how to bring him into it. But one of the other things one of the other things that I want to bring up is the idea that the bird's eye view thing was mentioned by someone that was not Shinpei.
Okay, but what is that?
The reason that that's important is because that's something that Shinpei has been saying to himself in his head ever since he was a kid.
Well, no. He had talked about this as a kid as well. Like people like mentioned that. I think even like other kids in the main cast or what have you mentioned how he like has a thing that he would just do that.
Okay.
Like that wasn't just I don't think that's a... I think you're also shifting conversation topics to a completely different thing, and we were still talking about... Like, do you think that this ties back into
I think
this?
it could tie back into it.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was that said the whole bird's eye view thing.
Okay,
right?
you can go back and look.
If it was...
It's not a big deal.
If it was somebody that was not one of Shinpei's friends, right, then that, I think, is a big deal. Because if it's one of Shinpei's friends, then maybe he had talked about it before or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was one of Shinpei's friends. It was either Mio or Ushio or...
Like in this episode.
No, not in this episode.
No, because in this episode, someone mentioned the bird's eye view thing when they were talking. When that
was the big shadow.
Yeah, so that's crazy because if the big shadow, when it's talking about the powers of the eye, mentions bird's eye view, when Shinpei has not mentioned that to the big shadow ever, but he's been thinking about that since he was a kid, then that's talking about some stuff that goes way beyond.
Let me go to that part here. Yeah, he's like, your right eye can take a bird's eye view and see the flow of time from a higher dimension. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Shinpei has been saying that to himself for a very long time.
Right.
And so that means...
Because at some point in the future, he gets the ability to see basically from the fourth dimension. He gets to actually be able to do that. So he's been always watching and kind of helping himself all along.
Right, exactly. Because he gets to the point where he gets past the just looping upon death or whatever, and then sets up a whole bunch of shit beyond just the stuff that we've seen in this show.
Probably with Shadow Ushio.
Sure.
And that's how we set up the time loop.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we've pretty much got it. It's just the idea that we don't understand really if they're going to have any limits at that point, or if it will be just we've totally won.
Right. Do
but
they
now
full
we need
Bill
to
and Ted's it, or is there still conflict?
Right. Is there actually any conflict? And I think that there will be conflict because we have Hiruko. Hiruko is a god. Hiruko
Right, and
is
we
not
haven't really
Heine
met
fully.
Heine yet.
Heine is the shadow, first shadow copy of a kid that Hiruko made long time ago.
Yep.
Who knows?
And in a lot of ways, that would actually... Oh, wait. Oh, no. No, hang on. I think I figured it out. So the reason that the festival needs to happen is not to get Heine back up to power, but it's because they're dealing with a shadow, but this shadow is the best vessel for Hiruko that they have.
And we need to reawaken the god, basically.
We need to reawaken the god. And that's why Heine needs to be babysat and everything, because she's still a shadow of a little kid, right? Even though she has a lot of power because she's old and all that stuff. And that's where Ushio could become even more important, because if it's the, wait, are you the egg or whatever, right? Then it's the, oh no, we could have a better vessel that then Hiruko could get.
You could be my master's incubation sphere. Right. And the benefits of the big shadow is probably just that it was a shadow made separate from any identity, you know? So that way it's just it's consummate shadow soldier. In a lot of ways, the part that's really fascinating about it is that it feels like it's the Da Vinci Man, you know, the basically the purest expression of like what a human being kind of is. You know, it's a godlike being in and of itself, of the way it's designed, and the 4-in-1 kind of thing with the eyes and the arms and stuff like that. That also kind of takes the idea of, you know, like the male and female kind of components that, you know, are one.
Oh,
it's
like
the pure perfect being, basically,
right,
stuff that's you know, used a lot. And even then, the being that comes out of it to project the gun is feminine in form.
Yes, that's true. That is very true.
So in a lot of ways, I think it's that Hiruko is very powerful, created something that's more akin to the true representation of what Hiruko is, and yet has made a first shadow copy that is more powerful in the thing that it actually has. Heine has Hiruko's power, but this is the morphic, you know, like trends forming like godlike aspect of that, right? In a shadow form.
The fact that this is the thing that protects Heine rather than just Heine protecting Heine has some very particular implications.
Yeah, exactly. Basically just an invincible body for compared to a human, basically.
But
yeah, we got so many answers and so many big things and developments, and now the story's going into the second half. I'm very excited and confident about where this is going. Also, I think we're headed towards a good conclusion to the story.
I think so too. And one of the things that I'm also rather happy about is, given how this went with Mio getting used as a hostage, that means that Shinpei is probably going to be like, okay, I can't just be like, no, stay away. We want to keep you safe. No, she's not safe, so you need to keep her with you. And then that can be a way that her character can be explored a bit more. Because as far as the characters that we've had in the main group, she has a lot of emotional anchoring in the story. So I want to see her get
There's a lot of
chance
emotional
to breathe
anchoring in the story, but she's not very important in the immediate sense from the plot.
Right.
But it's Mio is the one person we want to make sure gets through this whole thing and makes it to the good end with everybody else. Because in some ways, it's not about whether Shinpei and Ushio can get it to the good end. In some ways, that's already happened.
Right. Theoretically, they could have gotten the good end of defeating Heine or whatever.
But they sacrificed.
But it's no, we're not doing this when fucking everybody else is dead.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So it's hey, if your heroes are extremely competent and powerful, what's the best way you hurt them?
Hurt the people that they care
about.
Hurt the people
they care about. That's how you kill a Jedi. Is you don't come out there stupid.
Attack is hard.
Attack is hard. Yeah. And that means then that the shadows are going to get so desperate and so on their back foot that they're going to basically threaten the heroes with do you want to keep going with this end?
Right.
We have killed so many of your people. You'd be willing to sacrifice all them? And see, that's where this whole loop thing kind of comes into place, is that every
iteration
loop
gives
is
him
just-
less options.
right, every iteration gives him less options, but it's the hope that eventually we'll get this right, where Mio makes it to be with our, and we'll be a family again. You
And
know?
the terrifying thing is that you get to a point where you think you have it figured out, and then you realize you forgot something, and now you're canonically stuck into a bad timeline. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But y'all,
Holy
crazy
shit.
episode, crazy
Holy
discussion. Y'all,
shit.
thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you watched through this whole discussion, you're a real one. You're a legend.
Yeah.
This is absolutely you're
Wow.
loopy. You're loopy. But thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. If you want to see that next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all
Next time.